Alright, we're nearing the end of the basketball season. Got a little, like 20 games left on average for each team, a little less, so it's heating up. Things are getting real. Right now, I'm actually tracking the Laker game. They're playing the Rockets. 5-point lead with 3 minutes left. If they hold on here, they take the best record in the NBA away from Cleveland by half a game. Actually, they're in the lead right now because of the tiebreaker, but still. So it's getting very tight up top. Dwayne Wade been doing some sick stuff lately. I didn't get a chance to watch the Bulls game the other night, but he has been going out of his mind. And tonight, he had a great game and helped the Heat beat the Celtics, which is huge. It's those little things that are going to help them catch the Atlanta Hawks, because they're a game and a half back now, and if they catch Atlanta and pass Atlanta, they get home court in the first round, probably against Atlanta. So that would be huge, and it's very reasonable. There's plenty of games left to do it. I don't exactly know how this happened. I guess Boston dropped some games because they didn't have Rondo and Garnett, but Cleveland's #1 in the East, 2 games up of Boston, and they still have one more game against Boston and Cleveland, I think, so it's going to get very good down the stretch. Again, Los Angeles still pretty much has the Western Conference wrapped up if they win the game tonight, which it looks like they will. They'll be 7.5 games up of San Antonio. And the Lakers and Spurs play tomorrow. So if the Lakers win that game, you can pretty much wrap that up. That's going to be a big game. I think you're probably looking at the conference finals. You know, looking at that matchup on paper, it really does seem to favor the Lakers. Much more so when Bynum comes back. He'll probably be back in time for that playoff series. Almost definitely, but you know, that gives them 2 behemoths who can play down low, as well as a backup behemoth in Lamar Odom. Kobe's an excellent defender, and he'll be working on, you know, 2 spark plugs on the Spurs, Mason and Ginobili. Tony Parker can kill Derek Fisher all day, but matchup-wise, it just really favors LA. But I want to see how it plays out when the teams are actually playing, of course. Obviously, we have a big log jam in between seed 3 and seed 8. Houston and Dallas. Houston's the 3 seed, Dallas is the 8 seed, and 2.5 games separate those teams. So one of these teams is going to get on a hot streak at the end of the season, win like 3-4 games in a row, and they'll pull a 3 seed out of their butt. And I don't know who it's going to be. I'm looking at the teams here. Houston, Portland, New Orleans, Utah, Denver, Dallas, and Phoenix. Actually, out of those teams, I probably like Utah the most, followed by New Orleans. Houston's been playing well lately, but I'm not completely sold on that quite yet. Actually, they just tied the Laker game up 86-86 with a little more than 2 minutes left, so we'll see where that goes. A couple nights ago, Dallas played Phoenix, and Dallas won, and I think that pretty much sums things up. You know, those 2 teams, Dallas and Phoenix, are competing for the 8th spot, and Dallas might actually move up if they win a couple games here, but anyway, they were competing for the 8th spot. Phoenix is now 5 games behind Dallas, and with Dallas beating them, I think that pretty much tells the story. Dallas is getting in the playoffs. Phoenix is going to be the 9th team, the odd team looking in. But at this point, that's getting more and more obvious. Is this Phoenix team just not playing well? They beat the Lakers a couple weeks ago and got no momentum off of it. Like, they weren't able to build on that win, which is bad. Really something they needed to do. What else do we got? As I was saying, you know, Dwayne Wade's building that MVP case with these last several games where he's just been going out of his mind. It still looks like it's going to be LeBron. He went for the triple-double last night against the Clippers, which was a hilarious game. All around, just a hilarious game. Kobe has a chance to get back in it if he explodes in these last few games. But it looks like it's going to be LeBron. There's just a inherent bias against Dwayne Wade because the Heat aren't that good. What are they right now? 35 and 29. That's probably not going to get you MVP, but yeah, it's heating up. It's definitely going to be interesting down the stretch. The East has a much more interesting logjam. You have Milwaukee, the current 8th seed, and you have Toronto, the hypothetical 15th seed, 6 games back at Milwaukee. So you have, like, what is it, 7 teams competing for one playoff spot, that 8th spot. Milwaukee, Chicago, New Jersey, Charlotte, Indiana, New York, and I guess Toronto is still kind of in there, but probably not. I mean, the only team completely out of it is Washington, so that's interesting. Out of those teams, I don't know. I actually kind of like New Jersey out of that group. When they bring their game, they get it done. I mean, I've seen them play some fantastic games this year. Devin Harris, when he brings it, great player. Yeah, Vince Carter, he's on and off sometimes, but he can get it going. I like Brooks Lopez. Brooke Lopez is great. I don't really like the coaching that they bring, but I think it'll be enough to get the #1 seed, maybe enough to make some noise. Maybe win one game in the first round against Cleveland or Boston or whatever, but that's about it. So things are getting interesting. If Dwayne Wade keeps this up, he's probably going to break 30 points a game on the year, which he would be the only player to do that because it doesn't look like LeBron and Kobe are going to do it. And Durant got hurt, which killed me because I love Durant. And yeah, I guess that's about it. That's all that's going on right now. I mean, the East, the top 3 are set in stone. It's Cleveland, Boston, Orlando in some order. We'll see what order this shakes out. Probably going to be Cleveland, Boston, Orlando. The Western Conference is just about set in terms of which teams are going to make the playoffs. We just need to know the exact seeding. I guess that's about it. I'll get more into it later. See ya.